a sketch with color. So I did actually kind of draw out up there. I am going to change a few things with the initial drawing. I did do the floor to see if I wanted it gray. I now decided that here I want some wild kind of wallpaper situation. So I'm playing around with color because I do want to keep these chairs dark. So I feel like the wallpaper has to be light. So I'm going to play with that right now on this. Okay, I'm continuing on with this. I am playing around with color. One thing I absolutely love about acrylic is I can change the color so easily. So if I go and put this down and decide, ugh, no, I can't stand it, I can change it, but just put another color on top, and it actually makes it, in my eyes, way more richer the more colors I have on it, because they still come through a little bit. Also, I use as long of brushes as I possibly can. And the reason why is because I do not paint like up here like this and choke my brush, because this takes all the energy and playfulness out of a piece. So my goal is to always hold the brush at the end, and then I come in and I'm just stay as far away as possible. If I get too close to it, I start getting like things that are, I don't call them perfect, but they're definitely not interesting and different and quirky. It just takes it all out. So this is how I start my paintings, as far away as possible. And the goal here isn't to fill in every single space either. So all that time I took to put down the underlayers and the colors, that all shows through. And then if this happens quite a bit, I get a painting done, I don't love it, I will turn this upside down and paint the entire thing again right on top of this painting. I do it all the time. So my goal, of course, is to love my painting. I would always like to love it the first time. It usually never happens, even after sketching it out in my book a couple times, whatever. Anyways, I just wanted you to see my process as I'm filling in and I'm going about this painting here. I'm actually really liking it. I have the painting now wrapped up in some butcher paper, and earlier I showed you guys how I use those cards that have the quotes on one side, I paint on the other. I always put that into, not always, I try to always put one of those in when people purchase canvas from me. So this is getting ready to go get bubble wrapped and then shipped. Okay, I have these papers that I worked on last video where I just took some of my favorite colors of paint, spread it around. So now I'm gonna add a little bit more. So I brought out my micron pens, and every once in a while, this one doesn't look like there's much to it. I like to go through and just add like another layer. And I like to do writing. It has a specific name. It's writing that doesn't make any sense. Meaning, I'm not writing anything that is legible. Though sometimes when I'm not speaking on video, I will think like something out and I will fake write, just to get the energy and the motion out of me. So I'm just gonna do this a little bit on each page. And I'm gonna use different, the markers here. Let me grab some other ones. I want one that's a little bit thicker. So let me grab, oops, stuff around. Here's a few more of these micron pens. What I really need to do is go through my pens and just throw away the ones that aren't working for me anymore. Oh, yeah, that one's a little thicker. Oops. Oh yeah, this one writes a little bit better. So I'm gonna do a little bit on top of the paint and on the white parts too. And then I'm gonna flip it upside down, or I don't even know actually which way is up and which way is down. So all right, let's see if I have even a thicker one. Let's see, I got a 0.2. These ones are exactly the same. Here, this one's a little bit better. This one's like a little bit thicker. And then I put it together in a group, like right on top of each other like this, because it makes it a little bit more powerful. All right, let's do the third page. This one is really dark, this page overall. So I'm actually, because of that, I'm actually gonna leave the white parts of this alone. I actually covered up more of this page than I care for, but it doesn't mean all is lost. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is grab a Sharpie and let's go ahead, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start laying down a couple of the faces that I have in mind. Behind here, you don't see it, I do have a reference one. This is the one I actually like the least. Out of these, like these look, this is my favorite. Second, this is third. So I'm just gonna kind of look at it. I think I'm gonna make this the top, and I'm just gonna take a Sharpie and I'm gonna hold it at the end because I don't want this to be, there's no reason for it to be tight, because I am not looking for perfection here. In fact, if it is perfect, I'm definitely painting over it or starting over or just putting it away, because let me try another one. I want one that's a little bit darker. Perfection is definitely not what I'm aiming for here. Right, friends? As we've said before, perfection is fairly boring, really and truly. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the eyes in, put in a fast nose, the lips. I'm gonna do a pretty, for a male neck, it reads more male if you do it thicker. And then I'm gonna put in a scarf or a bandana. And then let's put in like a big collar here and a shoulder, like, there we go. All right, so I'm actually gonna go over, this is just the beginning part. I'm actually gonna hit a few pieces of this with some extra paint to bring out a few things like his eyes, the collar. So we'll bring out, we'll work on their nose a little bit with a little bit extra paint. So we'll come back to this later. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this out of the way. And let me find another, one to do on my next one. So what I'm actually going back and looking at on my iPad is stuff I've done previously. I already know kind of what is successful for me in this genre, so I'm gonna go back and just look at some other things. All right, so I'm gonna take this out. I'll bring them back, but I'm gonna add some more paint. All right, oh, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this as the top right here. So it's still gonna be another cowboy. So I'm gonna actually do this one so that his hat goes off the page here. And then keep his ears here pretty high. Actually, okay, so his ears need to move down there a little. And I'm actually gonna do him kind of looking off to the side. So let's do, again, his eyes, let me, so his eyes will kind of be going this way. With paint, it'll look much, we'll put in some lips, and oh, this guy for sure is having a cigarette. Okay. I like the whole, if I don't do a bandana or a tie, just like a scarf situation. And then we'll do a shirt. So now I will come in with more marker work I will actually come in with a little bit of paint. I will add a few more details with the paint to clean this up a little bit, and we'll see what happens to it. Okay, that's it for that one. Let's move on to, I did this for 3 times. Let's go ahead and see if I can't whip out like a female. I'm gonna look at some of the stuff I've already have. Actually, let me come back to you when I find what it is I want to put on this one. Okay, looks like I'm gonna do one with a female cowboy that is with her braids. So I've done this one already, but let me see if I can just change it up a little bit. So that cowboy hat is mainly going off the page on one side. We'll put, oh, I picked a crappy. See, the crappy ones are good to keep because they're good for canvases. Canvases absolutely ruin these. Like I can maybe get 1 or 2 canvases. See, this looks more like a male face to me. Sometimes a male face just comes out, y'all. I try my best, but sometimes I don't pull it off. Let's just see what happens here. Because this face, we can change it up with the eyes to make it more, have a more feminine look. But this is like a big hat. That might be part of the problem. All right. Again, another scarf situation, which to me is way more fun than just having a shirt. I tried for a female. This is definitely a male face. So it is what it is. I can't always make it go my way. And I have discovered that really I shouldn't try and make it. I should just go with the flow. It makes my life, well, what if I put hair on it? It makes my life so much easier if I just go with the flow. This might be one that we're just gonna paint over. We'll see. I have several. I've painted hundreds of these very thick cold pressed paper, and one thing I do know about them is I can paint so many layers, and it actually, just like canvas, it gets better. I feel like I don't know what I think. I think I got to do the eyes on her or him and then make a decision of what I got here. Okay, you know what? It's now, I'm becoming more feminine to me. Okay, I think it might work. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is take these and I'm just gonna fill in with a little bit of paint because I don't wanna lose this background. Though I don't love this background, we'll see what happens when I fill it in a little bit and see if I still like it or if I don't. This one I think I'm gonna love. I don't know, let's just see what happens. Okay guys, I just wanted to give you some insight on how much painting I actually do. Before I go and show you some of my older work though, these are where I stopped on these ones. I'm just waiting for the paint to dry and then I'm gonna do another layer of pen work on them. So I have these set off to the side to finish drying. But I just want you to know, and you're only seeing a very small portion, I have spent a long time trying to perfect my craft, and I just have hundreds of these sheets of paper, these watercolor cold pressed paper that I just practice on. Now, a lot of the times I wish I would have done this in a one of my sketchbooks, but I didn't. So what I'll end up doing over a majority of the stuff too is painting over them. Over the stuff is stuff that just didn't pass go, or I was just having fun Don't you think? Oh my gosh, see, like that's so much fun. And a lot of these I painted from other artists' class or whatnot. So I just thought I would show them to you like really quick and just know that I've done a lot of crappy work. Because this is where you work out your style, what it is you like, what products you like, what products you can't stand. I actually put this on my Instagram and I wish I didn't because I don't like this at all. It's all dark to me. There's nothing really light going on. Everything is flipped every which way. And a lot of these, so this looks like the work I just did, but I don't like the way it turned out. So it just didn't make it. This guy, I painted on black paper. I don't know where I was going with them, but I guess I got bored and stopped. Oh, a lot of collage. So a lot of this, oh, this isn't collage, but it's so, like, it's cool. There's something good going on at it. Also, there's things that I hate at the time, and then I'll come back later and look at it. This is when I was using very limited supplies when I was traveling. So, oh, these are fun. These are littler. Sometimes I think, oh, it'll look so cute. I have this idea in my head, but when I draw it out, I was like, it doesn't ever go to canvas or just whatever. See, this had potential, but I screwed up those hands. This is with limited supplies again. When I was traveling, I only brought with me a couple pens and a watercolor because watercolor is easily transportable. This piece of paper has so much paint on it, I can actually feel like it's heavier than all the others. Again, with this one, I don't know, some of these are good if I just clean them up a little bit. Some of these have potential. At the time, I didn't think so, so I just threw it in this pile. So I'll either paint over these or I'll just keep it as it is. Potential. Obviously no potential because I just painted over it. These, I guess I was just doing some little 3x5 cards. I kind of, like, I don't dislike these. This, I started painting a picture. It's actually my great grandmother. It's just all beige though. Like, it was off a black and white photo. I should have made her dress pink. These are classes that I've started with other artists that I've taken online. And I just didn't finish them all the way through. This has a whole bunch of layers. You can see that I've started several projects. I don't know where I was going with this one. This is just painted dark green, but if you get close up, I mean, can you see all the layers on this already? Oh, this is a good, I could do one of my cowboys or cowgirls on this one. This guy, the reason I don't like him, he looks like a baby. I gotta figure out how to do better wrinkles. And the corner is torn, and it is several layers. You can see layers underneath. Oh, I think he has potential. It's gotta do something to make him interesting. This one I did not like. It was almost because it was too perfect. This one, I like it. So this one I need to come back and visit. I kind of like this guy too. This is a lot. These are supposed to be oysters. My husband said they look nothing like oysters. I don't know. I think they do, but it's all done in collage. When I first started my art journey back during COVID, I started in collage. Oh, this is like a landscape, which I didn't dislike. It's a lot going on, but the tape had a situation here where it actually tore off the paper. So this is just simple illustrative collage. This is nothing of my style now. I would never sell this. This will never leave my house. It was just something I was exploring. I thought I would, I actually like this. I thought it was cool, and then I changed my mind. This is not really my style anymore. I don't hate it though. Like, I feel like if I came in and kind of fixed her up, this might be cool. I always had an idea about like the Maryland flag with the other flag, our flag. So just playing around with some ideas. That's kind of like a fat well. I don't hate it. An abstract, but again, the edges got torn here by some tape, so I didn't take advantage of it. This is a wild one to me. So I actually don't hate it, but I don't know. I mean, I really like how loose and like this is completely wild. I might be visiting that again because let me just put it over here to the side. All right, so this is when I was using like smaller paper, playing around with. This is actually an artist that I was taking some classes from her, so I can definitely see her influence. Oh, here's one where I was like, oh, where you're all very tight and controlled, and this one where I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go nuts. But it doesn't look that different, right? But don't you think that looks more interesting than that? And yeah, it does. I don't like that at all, but it's part of the process. You gotta make a lot of bad art to get to the good stuff. And even when you feel like you're to the good stuff, you still make a lot of bad art. Like that, this is bad. That is bad. Yeah, that's whatever. This is a big fat no. Guten Tag. You know, I don't hate it, but it's not my thing. Let me hurry and hide that. That looks nothing like the chapel at the Naval Academy, but whatever. Just playing around. Oh gosh. That could be better. And the great thing about buying really good paper, like I do, I don't even play around with how I want my paper to be good. And the reason why is I can put a bunch of layers on it and it doesn't affect the paper. So if your paper is kind of thin, it'll affect it. Anyways, I actually love her, but I know that this is from another artist. Yeah, it was fun. So, and these are just like, just paint that I throw onto pages. A lot of the times I don't, like if I have leftover paint on my palette that I'm not going to use, I will throw it down on paper so that I have like a first layer going for when I'm ready. She is salvageable. I don't know what I was thinking about with her eyes. Oh, I did owls and a mermaid, another mermaid. These are very illustrative, not necessarily painterly like I prefer now. These might be just a little bit too whimsical. I don't hate him. Oh, she's supposed to be diving into a pool, but I feel like I could make that a little bit better. This has potential. It's interesting. I could jazz her up a little bit too, and I think she would be a good. I actually painted this for somebody of their grandfather, and I told myself if she recognized it, I was going to give it to her, but she didn't, so that's okay. It's going. Oh, I love cakes. I love painting them too. And actually, this is one of my favorites. I feel like I could jazz this up a little bit, and yeah, just like this other cake painting. See, I have this thing. I just love that. I love the potential of this here. And then these are actually matted, and I kept them in their mats because I sign these with pen, and some of the mats are damaged. So I just went ahead and kept these in their mats. But these are just like a field of flowers. Looks like an angel, mermaid, some hearts, and another field of flowers. So a lot of my paintings that are done on paper, I like to put them into mats if they're the right size, but it makes selling them, I think, like much easier, and it looks richer too. So, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that little round of what should be in my sketchbook, but isn't. Okay, I am about to wrap up for the day. So I have finished these. So here's one. Here's the girl. She came out quite different from my last one. Different colored hair, but I mean, I thought it was gonna be a boy. It did turn into a girl and this guy. So what I'll do next is I will sign them, and then I will come up with some thoughtful names for each one. How I sign my stuff is I always do a P and then a little anchor T. So, oh, and I've got them all signed. And then what I always do is I turn them over on the back, put my signature and the year. I will also, when I come up with names for them, add that to it too. And this is where I am ending this painting. I did work a little bit on this wallpaper, playing around with just how much detail I want to add into it. And then I gotta do this part. I did it in there, but I've gotta add the paint. I went ahead and started the pearl. That's gonna be the shiner box, the Carl. This is, something's missing right here too. So I'm gonna look at it for a little while, see what else. This is actually gonna be a bowl full of jalapeno peppers. So I've got the cigarettes, a couple of glasses. I'll probably throw in maybe another glass, maybe a plate. Like I felt maybe a small plate would work here. I'll dress up the ashtrays there a little bit, but I'm really liking how it's turned out and how much detail there is. And I played around with this guy more. I didn't know if I wanted to take his glasses dark or not. Played around more of a skin tone because it was like a bright Barbie pink, and I'm still gonna add words on it. So this will to be continued. Hey friends, I'm just gonna wrap up this video. I realized I had a lot of footage, so I put it all together. Hopefully it makes sense. I'll get better at my editing as I go along, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep sharing with you guys and see what happens. And I would be so much fun to have a community here on YouTube also. I'll try and get better. I'll add some more stuff. If you have any questions, just drop them below. I'll do my best to answer. And in the meantime, I'll keep filming. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.